Hello and welcome back to Rev Solution. As you've probably seen from my recent posts on Instagram and also YouTube, I've injured myself. And it was a biking accident. In some respects, it's not a biking accident like you would probably expect it to be. So I thought in this video I'd just let you all in on the embarrassing incident and what took place. As you can see, I'm still in a sling. It's been about a week and a half now since it took place. So the story begins, like I said, a week ago. I was out riding my bike, nice and simple, nothing out of the ordinary. I get to where I'm going, perfectly fine. Again, nothing out of the ordinary. And then I need to park the bike up. So I get off the bike, as you do, kick the side stand up, just in case when I'm walking the bike backwards, I end up clipping the side stand on some ground. The Africa Twin has got quite a long side stand, so there is that potential that I can move the bike slightly towards me, clip the side stand, and it pushes over the other way. Anyway, side stand is up, walking the bike back, absolutely fine. Nothing out of the ordinary at this point. Now, once I've actually parked the bike up in the position that I want it in, I make sure that I'm in a good place. Everything's all good. So at that point, I then go to lower the bike straight onto the side stand. Now, bearing in mind, I've literally just put the bike off the side stand and started walking it back. Not even 10, 15 seconds prior to what I'm doing at this moment. Go to put it on the side stand, and then I lean it towards me onto the side stand, but the side stand is not down. So 250 kilograms plus a full tank's worth of fuel comes crashing towards me. Luckily, I'm still by the bike at this point, so it's not going far. And I'm not even joking. The distance the bike fell was probably a foot, maybe 2 foot towards me off of its centre of gravity. I've then realised I haven't got the side stand down, like a complete and utter idiot. So while still holding on to the pillion grab rail and the near side handlebar, I've managed to tense up as quick as I could.
Sir, yes, sir!
And support the full weight of the bike. Again, at this point, nothing unusual. Done it a few times before. You're moving the bike back, it goes a little bit away from the centre of gravity and you just tense. And then for some bizarre reason, I decided instead of support the weight and just take 2 seconds just to grab it, breathe and feel what's going on, I've then literally tensed as hard as I could in my arms, grabbed the weight and gone to lift it straight back up. At that point, I've heard a very loud and uncomfortable pop come from my right arm. Now, initially, I knew exactly what I'd done. My bicep was gone. I'd popped it basically, and the pop was really unsettling, it's horrible. If any of you have ever popped a bicep or a muscle, you know that sound, and it was that sound. So anyway, I'm in denial straight away. I was thinking, oh, I've got my top box on. Have I just hit my elbow into my top box? I look over to my right. No, I'm nowhere near my top box. Look over to my left, and my left arm has luckily been pulled in by the handlebars as the wheels turned and is no longer fully extended. My right arm is fully extended. So I believe that the motion of the wheel coming inwards with the handlebar has prevented my left bicep also from being popped. So the bike is now fully upright. I've kicked the side stand down and my arm is throbbing. I've got pins and needles in my hand. It's just horrendous. The sensation initially was, yeah, this is bad. This is really bad. So I composed myself for a few moments. I take my jacket off and I look down at my right arm, fully expecting to see an injury, a bruise, some sort of disfiguration. And yeah, it was the latter. So my right bicep basically has snapped the tendon that joins the lower bicep onto the forearm. Really painful. If you've never done it, it's not something I'd want you to experience. If you have done it, let me know in the comment section. How did you find the initial injury when you popped your bicep, or should I say tore the tendon, which keeps the muscle nice and elongated down to your arm? So I've looked down, I've seen the bicep is now what they call a Popeye bicep. As you can imagine with Popeye, if you're not familiar with Popeye, the arm is extremely odd shaped. Yeah, so at this point I'm thinking, crap, I've done a very significant injury. I've been taken down to a hospital quite local to where it happened, and yeah, honestly I can't praise the NHS enough. It was, I think, two and a bit hours from the moment I got down there to the moment I left. In that time, I'd had an X-ray, triage, spoke to a consultant. The whole thing was fantastic. That was the quickest I've been seen by the NHS. Phenomenal. Now, looking at the actual X-ray that they took of my right arm, you could actually see, obviously, the bend in the arm where the elbow is, and then you could see the tendon, quite a thick one, had retracted up into the upper arm, probably about 3 to maybe 4 inches away from its original anchoring location, just below the elbow. The consultant initially said to me, yeah, that's bad. You're gonna have to have an operation. It's gonna be a grueling next, I think he said initially about 4 months recovery for the actual tendon to heal itself once it's been operated on. Ideally, it should have been operated on the same day, he said. However, in reality, these things take a couple of weeks to get sorted. So I go home that day with a lot of painkillers. My arm is in agony, and I wait up. I wait up for about a week, I think it was. And then I received a telephone call from my local hospital saying I will be going in for surgery on Monday. So I've got 3 days now until surgery. I went down to the hospital the other day to have the ultrasound. And there I was at the hospital. So the diagnosis from the ultrasound, I don't know if they're radiologists or whatever their title is, was basically, that is a mess. And apparently only 3 to 5% of people who detach their bicep actually detach it from the lower arm. Majority are all up the shoulder area. So I'm one of the few that does it properly and requires surgery. Now, in relation to the surgery, what was explained to me is that they will have to put an incision just below the elbow. They'll basically fish around inside my arm, trying to get the tendon that is snapped, and it's basically the chunkiest part of the tendon, he was saying, that is snapped. Once they've got that part of the tendon, they'll then pull it down, out from my upper arm, back to my lower arm. They'll then reattach it to the snap part that is still fixed to the lower part of the arm. They'll then drill into my lower arm, secure some anchoring points, and actually reattach it via the screw points that they've drilled into the bone. Now, as you can see from looking at my arm here, this big area is a complete void. And this is where the end of the bicep is, which obviously should be right down here by the elbow, and roughly about here is where the actual bottom of the tendon is that is snapped and gone up my arm. So you can see from that there's quite a distance from where it should be to where it's actually situated. So if you're going to do it, you're going to do it properly. You've got to do it properly at the end of the day. Obviously I didn't want to do it, and I'd rather be fully mobile, out on the bike, back at work, and doing things I enjoy doing. Because when you're signed off from work with an arm that's completely out of action, it's not a lot you can do really, apart from go for walks. Life gets hard. So as you can see from the bruising on my arm, it's quite a nasty bruise. This photo was taken about 5 days after the initial accident took place. Now this is going to be quite fun to walk down. I might as well video it because I'm probably going to fall down, so get ready for laughing material. Anyway, so yeah, the first one was taken in about 5 days after I'd done the initial accident, and this photo of my bruise now is a current photo today. God, this is quite steep, but one arm's out of action, so I might as well do the other one. So I'll be going to hospital in 3 days to get the bicep reattached. My left arm, I tell you what, I was very, very close to actually doing my left arm. It is really tender on the bicep incision point, where it inserts back into the lower arm. So I can definitely feel that there's a bit of damage done to that, but thankfully it didn't pop. I managed to look after that well enough when the handlebars swung in. So when it comes to the actual mobility of my right arm, it does hurt, there's no denying that. It is agony. I've taken a lot of painkillers, which is making things a lot easier. However, where the bicep is fully retracted up, you can't necessarily bend your arm, but thankfully the human body is such a fantastic design that the rest of the muscles in your arm compensate. So you can actually move your arm up and push it down, but I can't fully extend my arm. There's a lot of fluid around the elbow, which causes a hell of a lot of discomfort. I can't do any weight bearing activities with my right arm at the moment. Obviously, if I do anything like that, that's going to cause potentially further injury and hamper any sort of rehabilitation. So yeah, at the moment, I'm just keeping my arm in a sling as per doctor's orders, so prevent any further injury and also prevent me from trying to do anything. But it is hard sleeping, eating, bathing, showering, doing shoelaces up. Everything that you take for granted is now 10 times harder with a load of pain thrown in. Thankfully, I've got used to my hand and my fingers. So anything small, like, I don't know, playing the Xbox, that's easy. So looking back, will I have done anything different? Definitely. I probably wouldn't have tried to stand the bike up initially. I would have rested it for a few seconds, then just used my body, legs, just to push it back up because I was stood right next to it. I could have also guided the bike down to the floor nice and comfortably, which would again probably cause no damage to the bike. But hey ho, hindsight's a great thing, and yeah, it doesn't change the outcome. I'm off, I'm injured, and that's the way the cookie crumbles. So I'm going to be potentially off work for 4 or 5 months. It's going to be a long road to recovery. I've got a friend who's done the same injury, and yeah, he was off work for about 4 months. It is fully come back. You can fully come back from this injury, which is a good thing. I've just got to work hard at the rehabilitation and not overdo the arm. But again, being my right arm, I'm severely hampered in doing my day-to-day living. I'll be vlogging more about my injury, my recovery, the operation on Monday. I'll take the camera into the hospital, try and get some more footage of that. So please hit the subscribe button. Let me see that people are actually interested in my recovery and the injury that I've done. Please let me know if you've done the injury below. And if you've managed to watch this far, please leave a timestamp in the comments. Just let me know what the time is now and what you thought of this video. If you thought there's any way I can improve the vlog styles, that'd be fantastic, because I do want to take the channel forward a little bit to do vlogs as well as motorcycle reviews, because I actually want to make making content a lot more easier. Next year, I'll be looking at doing some trips away for a week or two, even a couple of days, get some more content in that hopefully I'll be able to upload over a period of say 3 to 4 weeks, maybe even longer, with literally like a couple of day trip, split it up into a few minutes of videos, and hopefully you'll all enjoy it. So if there are any YouTubers watching this and you fancy doing a collaboration with me, please hit me up in the comments below. I'll get back to you, because I would love, whilst I'm off, to do some collaborations with some local YouTubers to Hampshire. Come down to Hampshire, I'll come up wherever you are and we'll do some motorcycle videos. Obviously I can't be riding at the moment, I can't even drive, so we'll get around that at some point. Now, if you've also watched my video in relation to going on a motorcycle tour next year, that's if I can still ride a bike at that point. Now, the next clue I'm going to give you in relation to the tour that we're doing next year for a holiday is somewhere in the southeast of the European continent. Southeast of the European continent. Leave a comment below, let me know what you think. And until next time, Resolutions, injured, out of the game. Take care, ride safe. Don't screw your arms up, let your bike drop if need be, and I'll see you soon.